Hey everyone, and welcome back to the YouTube channel. So it's been a while since I've shown you anything going on our basement project. We have been working along doing mortaring, smoothing over all the irregularities from the original forms for the concrete, and this week we are working on basement windows. So a problem we ran into with these old basement windows is they are very large. It's much larger than what you're seeing here because there's a set of blinds up there covering up a couple of inches. So this is a new basement window, and all the new basement windows are based on modern block sizes like this. Well, our foundation blocks were likely handmade on site. If you ever looked into like Sears catalogs, they actually sold homeowners forms for doing projects. So the size difference in these blocks are huge. So this would have been a whole block. We've been taking out and getting ready for an installation. So he knocked out some of the loose block and had to chisel away a portion of the block. You see like there's a half. He had to do that all by hand to preserve it because like this was the coal door and it was a lot smaller. When they put in the coal door, they cracked the block. So he's doing this all by hand. What else?
Well, the old blocks were 20 inch. So the coal door, 20 by 8, 10 inches wide. They're actually 12 inches wide with that decoration. So the coal doors are all based on those old blocks they used to make on site. So we had to chisel through, because all the new windows are they're 2 blocks wide, so 32, 2 blocks high, so 60. So we had to take about a foot out because we're working with blocks that are 10 by 8 by 20. So now they'll fit perfect. And you just have to change them. So what I think I might be able to do, that window is 2 blocks wide of 20-inch block. So to get a 32 by 16 window in there, what you have to do, we're just lucky the coal door is providing extra block I had to cut through to make it bigger. So I think I can take those and fit them in there, because that's a 40-inch wide window. Now, of course, the blocks are 16, so 2 wide is 32. So I can take some of that material, because you can't find these, that texture they put on the outside. You have to kind of somewhat try to do it yourself if it's not available.
So this is on the exterior of the house.
Yeah.
And it's smooth on the inside like this. And what he's talking about here is being able to scavenge the blocks. You can see the height of the window. It's a wood sill all the way up there at that green. And the problem that we've run into here is years and years of composting leaves, and you gain soil. The ground is higher than this sill, and it's actually about halfway up this window. So we have shoveled away previously, but this window tends to want to leak because there's actually wood rot on the other side, which has led to some of this, and that's where the new mortar is coming in to fill it all in. So his blocks from the coal door, see here we're ending up short an entire course. He'll be able to fill that in.
I might, that I scavenged from the coal door, is enough to do these 2 courses over to the 32 inches, but obviously we have to get this height up just like the coal door was, so there's no moisture issues in a heavy rain. Whether you have eave trough or not, doesn't matter. It shouldn't be this low. It's just all 100 years of gaining topsoil and sod. All the grass clippings, all the leaves it just gets deeper. So there's no place to pull that water away. So the only way to do it really is to just have a normal window that's higher. And I might even form this up and do put some rod in there and pour this in, and then put the window above it, because the grass is right up to here.
Yeah, we want to get above that ground level.
Well, meaning I don't need a textured block to look a certain way at this
Yeah.
level, because that's gonna be all
Yeah.
covered in dirt when we get down in grass.
Cause
So I
yeah,
really-
on the outside, it's, most
Mhm.
of that block is covered.
And these are so thick that a modern 16-inch by 8 block, you're still gonna have a funny look to it. Yeah, I guess you could put the void on the outside and make the inside of the basement. So with 2.5 blocks, I could block it in. I could use solid 4x4 by 16 or 4x8 by 16, those like that. Something.
It's just showing like regular blocks.
You could
over
do
there.
anything. You could solid blocks, hollow, anything but the textured decorative block, which we can't get
Yeah.
without making it. And that'll get it up here, get everything dry, and everything will be right.
And a lot of like this, see how much more light we're getting here than previously because this was a coal door. It had no longer been used. They had switched to natural gas at some point. We're gaining a basement window and adding more light in this basement, which it's not ceiling height or floor height. You would have to smash out the floor and dig it deeper another half a foot to have it as living space. But just to have it for storage space, you know, a sitting room or whatever, your home gym, that light will help a lot because the back porch is blocking the light from here. There used to be a window there and they added the addition for the bathroom. This is everything that we took out before and the wall complete, the ugly, ugly bathroom. So some people have said there's a lot of potential to this basement. It's just a matter of getting there. And little by little with his handyman skills, we're getting there. So I always try to show our viewers what we're doing and talk about hows and whys. Not so much as a step-by-step DIY, but this gives you the information that you need to be able to step into the project and do it on your own. So we're using S-type mortar or type S mortar, and it's a concrete blend. This is what it should look like. It can, you know, kind of hold its own. Think of like making mud pies when you're a little kid. So I showed you before, the centers of the blocks are hollow, and like on the new blocks, you want to fill that in. So he filled in the center with bits of concrete block, the old concrete sink, and then mortared over that. And of course you can see we're mortaring down into the crack. We don't want water and moisture coming in there. This is all cleaned up. The top of the blocks originally had this concrete cap put on, and it's just a triangle kind of form that they did. There was nothing to be able to hold that here, so we went ahead and knocked it down so that we wouldn't have to have a piece of plywood for it. And we're just going to shape it off at the ends like we did on the other, and we'll just meet the edge of the block. The frame is going to get a bead of caulk right here and screw up into that, and then a filler bit is going to go in here. We were just talking about, they're calling our generation the hustle generation, and that there's always more work to do, not more to be had kind of thing. We're here doing our own DIYs. So I wanted to point out, he's got just a wood chisel, and he's taking that installation flange off. I mentioned before, there's a masonry guy that we watch a lot, and that guy said that every one of these, like basement style, they call it like a basement casement window, I think. Hinged basement window, yeah. What were these, like $30 at Menards before the 11%? Anyways, this guy does this for a living, and he said every one of those he's ever installed, he takes off because you're not nailing it into wood. You're going to mortar it in and then some caulk and sealant and stuff, but yeah, now it's ready to go. So you can see he took the window out for this job. You're going to,
And the screen.
yeah, so we put those aside. He's going to be installing just this, it's like PVC framework that's going to go in first.
Is it?
Yeah.
It's PVC, not vinyl.
Well, yeah, I guess it's vinyl, but probably a little less brittle than the PVC.
It might be. It's PVC.
Okay.
Yep, it says that.
Well, let's hope it holds up. It'll hold up for as long as
Wide.
our need.
Extra thick welded PVC frame.
Uh-huh.
So it says there's a 3/4 inch insulated glass. So there's 2
Yeah.
3/4. And these are doubles too.
We were going around looking. They're double glazed,
Pane.
double paned basement windows. So they're doing more than we thought.
We don't know how old they are.
No.
We don't know if it's 1920 or 1950. Those are fine. It's just that
Mm-hmm.
we got to get this one raised up.
This window opening, see, it's all opened up now. These two were scavenged from the other side, so that's all filled in, bonded back together. That's drying up. And then the bottom course, instead of putting blocks in there, he did a poured, filled in with concrete. So right now he is just removing the screws off of the sliding hinges so that we can take the glass panel out. We talked about that earlier. You said it works best to take the middle one out?
No, I just needed you to hold it on that funny angle so that I can get to this middle screw, because the sliding thing covers up the middle one. It'd be a lot harder to do with one person than this. Then you'll have to open it up all the way, and then
I see.
But
To me, they felt awkward opening and closing, not mounted either. Okay, now he can fully access the other screws. Not familiar with shims. They are in the window and door section. They're just small pieces of soft pine wood. They're very lightweight, and they're wedges. So they get bigger as you go in, and you stack them this way and that to make up for any gap that you need. So just to show you right here, there's one. So we put these in all the way across to help fill the gap where the board was not quite straight, and then he'll caulk over them. Now to remove the excess, see, here's the pack shims, and this is how they start out. That's about 12 inches, and so you would just stack them like this till you get the width that you need. And this is why we always keep scrap pieces of wood. Lath and plaster, you know, lath boards are really good to have. See how he's just got it shimmed up right there. That's a perfect example. They're all going this way and that. So to install, we caulked the top and shimmed the bottom. And he noticed that this board on top is low in the center. So he's gonna shim this corner and maybe that one a little bit.
Yeah, it'll need to shim here, here, and here. All the other screws need to shim,
Okay.
and then it'll be fine.
So right now it's just being held in place by one screw right there while he's checking it for plumb and level. If you're not sure what that means, you can pick these up at any hardware store, probably even the dollar store. And that little bubble in the center, when it's between those lines, then you've got level right there. And then what you do, see how he's spacing those? He's putting that right where he's going to screw through. Then they don't move.
These level.
Mm-hmm. Bubble's right in the middle. So we'll add some more screws and add screws on the outside, and then we'll show you some mortaring in a little while. So now we're just fastening the mounting hinges back into the frame. He's been around doing his mortaring. I'll show you over here. So this corner is all patched up now, and it's a proper sill on a slant, just like at the other. That way, nothing can be there. Anything would just run off. And then this one will get the same treatment. So here's the inside, and as you can see, he's just slowly building it up. So where it meets the vinyl PVC, it's flush, and then all this was like chipped away. So he's making that all nice and level, so it'll come up to there. And then replace the pieces up there with a little bull nose. And he's going to add some more here, so he left it rough, so it's got something to grab onto. So that window's almost done. And then he filled in where it was crumbling here, just like the lower wall. This is the new blocks on the inside. And all this. So now we're going to set the window. So just to show you now the final, he's got the nice little slope right there. I know some people would prefer a flat edge. However, for any future issues or anything, it's good to have that on an angle. The only reason to have a flat edge is to put stuff there as a decoration. It's a basement, it's a functioning space, and I just feel that this was a good solution to that. And then it matches the outside of all of it also. So the outside is all completely done. He built that up high enough that we didn't have to worry about any water coming up against it. We've got at least 4 inches there, 6 or 8 up to the window, and the same thing on the front window. And as luck would have it, we were able to scavenge a piece of siding from under the back porch when we were working on that window, and we are all set. So he's just doing his little touch-up paint there, and this job is going to be all done. So the important find of finding this piece of siding is they had notched out right here. You could see it in that very first video where the coal door used to be, and they had also broke it right here at the end. So it was missing a section. It wasn't just a matter of like a 3-foot piece. So this piece here, we actually cut off about 3 or 4 inches. It was just right for the job. So as always, thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next video. Don't forget to give us a thumbs up, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.